Hi everybody, this is Alan Ellman, the Blue Collar Investor, and welcome to Lesson 3 of the Beginner's Corner information series regarding selling cash secured puts. In today's lesson, we're going to discuss how to select the underlying security, be it a stock or an exchange traded fund, for purposes of selling put options. Now, there's a three-pronged approach we use in the BCI methodology for selecting the underlying security. We have fundamental analysis, technical analysis, and we use some common sense screens as well. In today's lesson, we're going to discuss the first two, fundamental analysis and technical analysis. And the reason it's so important to select a high quality stock is because there's always that possibility when we sell a put that that stock will be put or sold to us. And we only want to select stocks that we would otherwise want to own when we're selling options. In addition to that, by selecting elite securities to sell puts against, we're raising the possibility and the level of achieving the highest possible returns. Okay, that said, let's talk about what exactly is fundamental analysis. Well, in a nutshell, it's a way of evaluating a corporation and the health of that corporation based on earnings and sales and other assets. Now, when you look at the financial statements of a company, there are certain financial ratios that are important to us, like, for example, the PE ratio, which is price to earnings. Or we could take that a step further and compare the PE ratio to the projected growth of the company, known as the PEG ratio. There are a lot of online software screening services. Some of them you have to pay for, and some of them are free in determining fundamental analysis. We always try in the BCI methodology to gear our members to the free sites, but sometimes you do need to go to a pay site. Okay, so that said, let's take a look at fundamental analysis the BCI way. One of the most important screens to me that I've had so much success with over the past 2 decades is the Investors Business Daily 50, IBD 50 screen. Here they screen stocks, mostly growth companies, for fundamental screens predominantly, earnings and sales. And I have had, as I said, huge success using these companies for selling options, and that's one of the key screens that we use for selling both put and call options. Now, in addition to that, I also run our stocks through the IBD, another Investors Business Daily screen, known as the Smart Select Ratings. And here we have 6 categories of ratings, both fundamental and technical, and both for the company and the industry that the company resides in. Now, IBD Smart Select will give both numbers and letter grades, but adjacent to that is a checklist with 6 circles. And the color of those circles could be either green, yellow, or red, green meaning the highest or most elite performers in that particular category. In the BCI methodology, we require all 6 of those circles to be green when we run our stocks through that screen. And again, you have to be a member of IBD and pay for access to that screen. However, if you are a BCI member, we'll do the screening for you, and you do not need to become a member of IBD to have access to that particular screen. Once again, it's only one of many screens we use in the BCI methodology. Now, another screen that we use is the Stock Scouter rating system, which rates stocks on a 1 to 10 basis. And what they've done is identified a certain historical data from the past 10 years that will identify stocks most likely to outperform the market and with the least amount of volatility. We require stocks to have a rating of 5 or better. Now, at the time that I'm making this video, Money Central just took this screen down after being up for many, many years. And it's unclear as to whether or not it'll be put back up on Money Central site or on another site. We think that it will, but it may not. So if it's not, then there are still many other screens in the BCI methodology that will assure that the candidates that you select will be of the highest quality. But if it's available, I do like to use the Scouter screen as well. So if you're going to Investors Business Daily, the link is investors.com, a free site where you can get both technical and fundamental screening. An excellent one at that is FinViz Now, stocks that are not listed in the IBD 50 that you're screening must also pass the Smart Select screen and the Scouter screen if it's available. If not, then you move on to the other screens that we're going to talk about in the second part of today's lesson and also in lesson 4. And again, as I said, for our members, the premium report will do all the screening for you. So next, let's talk about technical analysis. Well, this is a method of predicting the future stock price based on historical price patterns. And we look at the price of a stock over a certain period of time, usually anywhere from 6 months to a year. And we look at the chart to predict or identify trend and momentum. And again, there are many free sites available. The one that we use for our premium reports is stockcharts.com. Again, it's a free site. It's a wonderful site for constructing your price charts. Now, we don't have time in this brief video to go into depth with technical analysis, but I'm happy to share with you the parameters that we use here in the BCI community for technical analysis. And that is, we use moving averages, 20-day and 100-day exponential moving averages to identify trend. We look at the MACD histogram, which identifies both trend and momentum and is predictive of future price movement. We look at the stochastic oscillator, which identifies momentum, and we confirm everything by looking at volume. Now, here is a typical price chart set up with those 4 indicators. And to those of you who have never looked at a price chart before, this could be pretty intimidating. Don't let it be. And for those of you who know how to use technical analysis, you're probably pretty familiar with these indicators. But just to quickly identify them for you, on the top are the moving average indicators. The blue line at the top is the 20-day EMA, exponential moving average. Below that, the 100-day EMA. And below that is the MACD histogram. Those are the blue bars. We'd like to see those above 0 and ascending. Below that, the thick black line is the stochastic oscillator. We also like to see that ascending. And finally, at the bottom are the volume bars that will either confirm or not confirm any changes in the indicators above. Now, for our premium stock reports, the first part of the report shows the screening process in those blue bars towards the top, which represent both the fundamental, technical, and common sense screens that I'll talk to you about in lesson 4. And then in the middle of the report is the actual watch list. If you look on the middle top right area there, you see running list. That's the watch list. We call it a running list because it's in a constant state of change. And you could see that there's a lot of information that we gather for our members, including those yellow highlighted rows, which means there are earnings reports coming out in the current contract month. Therefore, avoid that stock even though it's past all of our screens until the earnings report passes, and we highlight the dates of those earnings reports you could see in bold red. A lot of other information too related to the industry rank, dividends, etc. So whether we do the screening for you or you do it yourself, the takeaway here is you have to have a quality watch list of stocks and ETFs that you would otherwise be willing to own separate and apart from the option selling aspect of this strategy. Okay, let's summarize. Stock selection for cash secured put writing or selling calls starts with selecting stocks with the greatest earnings and sales growth. That again is fundamental analysis. We then evaluate price charts looking for trends and momentum. And the screening can absolutely be done by average retail investors. Just educate yourself and you could do the screening yourself. However, if you want to save the time that you'd have to put into doing the screening, then becoming a BCI member, and we'll provide all of the watch lists for you. Okay, that's pretty much it for today's lesson. In the next lesson, as I said, we're going to go through some of those common sense considerations that you must factor stock selection into, as well as what we talked about in lesson 3, fundamental and technical analysis. Thanks so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. And as always, this is Alan Ellman, the Blue Collar Investor. Take care, everybody.